Big news this morning. Pharma bro Martin Shkreli has been arrested. This is, of course, the pharmaceutical entrepreneur from Daraprim who made headlines as this internet villain, this pharma villain, over the last few months after he purchased the rights to a drug and then increased prices at somewhere around 5,000% per pill. We talked about this arrest has nothing to do with the Daraprim situation whatsoever. We talked about this investigation that was going on of the now 32-year-old Shkreli when he was involved as the manager of a hedge fund called MSMB Capital Management and chief executive of a biotech firm named Retrofin. There's this lawsuit that surfaced alleging that he was basically using the company Retrofin as a personal piggy bank to fund personal expenses and all sorts of stuff. And further, that when the company started not doing so well, he started, or rather when his hedge fund started not doing so well, he started hiring as consultants people he wanted to do favors for at Retrofin and paying them consultant salaries. I mean, absolutely, if true, horrible, fraudulent allegations, misuse of corporate funds, just really, really bad. And he was arrested this morning at his Manhattan, New York City apartment. We don't ultimately know what will happen. He has been charged with securities fraud. And a lot of people emailing me about the story saying, yeah, I don't really care that it has nothing to do with the Daraprim thing. This guy deserved to be jailed. And I don't know that I really buy into that type of thing. Yeah, this guy did something that I consider to be completely unethical and against what our focus should be with regard to the healthcare system, but he did not do anything illegal by raising the prices. The broader system allows for that because we've decided this is a for-profit game, that of pharmaceuticals. These are separate charges, and if the charges are true, then he should absolutely be tried, prosecuted, and whatever punishment is appropriate. But for me, it's similar to saying, well, you know, OJ may have killed his wife, his ex-wife, but he was found not guilty. So then I think he should be given a harsh sentence for the armed robbery to get his memorabilia back because he wasn't found guilty for the killing of Nicole Brown Simpson. I don't buy into that. You know, that doesn't strike me as the way we should be looking at these things.
Yeah, I think it's clear that he's not the nicest guy. Definitely into some shady stuff. Not seemingly not a moral guy. So yeah, am I? Yeah, would I say he deserved it? Yeah, probably. But you're right. I mean, I guess Americans can only point the fingers at themselves. That he was allowed to do what he did with Daraprim, right?
Well, I don't know, point the fingers at themselves, but certainly at our legislators and big pharmaceutical
that type
companies.
of that's legal because there was legislation passed and laws passed that allowed that to happen. That came from Congress, and who elected those people?
I know what you're saying, but you know, the average individual, they say, okay, all I can do is vote, and they have no control over the fact that the people they elect often don't represent their legislative ideals. That's not the fault of the individual voter.
Well, we could get into why, or why the names that are on the ballot, are presented to them and why those are the people they have to vote for.
Yeah.
But, there is something to be said about low information voters. That's a huge problem.
That's a problem, but also a problem is that whoever we elect usually doesn't do what it is we want them to do. The Shkreli story, though, is wild and fascinating, right? First, he jacks up the price of this HIV drug, becomes an internet villain overnight. Then it turns out he's like a former emo guy who likes funding indie labels, and he bought a secret Wu-Tang album for $2 million. We didn't even report on that, but that's something else that it was uncovered Shkreli was involved with. And then now he gets busted by the FBI at his Manhattan apartment for a totally different lawsuit, alleging all sorts of crazy stuff he did at a different company altogether. This is a guy who, although you can't make money from things you've done illegally, probably has a pretty interesting book to write.
Yeah, Dave. And I hear he's going to charge $10,000 a piece for that book.
Yeah. It's going to be a record expensive book, and it will be, he's going to buy the rights to the publishing of the book as opposed to just going through a regular publisher and then jack up the price of his own book, at which point nobody will buy it because, quite frankly, you don't need that book to survive the way you do the pills that he jacked the price up on.